singular focus is to build best places to work, to build culture, to increase our employee engagement, to foster resilience at a time of massive disruption in our workplaces, and to prepare for oncoming technologies such as AI. And just as we begin, I want to share a little bit of a thought. I've been fortunate in my career to really benefit from a lot of professional development activities, and today holds the same potential for you. So I'm here to acknowledge that all of us have lots of demands on our time. We're all kind of running around in this constantly frantic state, but this afternoon affords you an opportunity to not be on Zoom, to not take a lot of calls or try to get a dozen emails done. It's an opportunity for you to be present and to hear from lots of our experts. And again, all with that goal of building better workplaces, which is so important to all of you. So let's try to disconnect and soak it all in. I want to give you a quick overview of this beginning part of Best Places to Work, our awards luncheon. The buffet is open. Looks like we've got a full house. So there are some assigned tables. I think you guys have figured all this out, and some unassigned tables. So if you're not an assigned table, please sit where you can. In just a few minutes, I'm going to introduce a few key partners in this event. The Ottawa Board of Trade and the Workforce Research Group that was responsible for determining the top 20. At 12:30, I have the absolute pleasure of engaging in a fireside chat entitled Ottawa's Upskilling Paradox, a call to action for employers. Finally, at 1 o'clock, we'll be recognizing our top 20 best places to work. That's fantastic. And if you're a repeat attendee, I just want to signal something to you. We take these events obviously very seriously. We take the feedback very seriously. One of the big changes we've made is reflected in our 1:45 session. So we're not only recognizing the top 20 at 1 o'clock, but at 1:45 with Karen Kraft. See, I was going to say Karen Brownrigg, but I remembered she's changed her name, Karen Kraft. You'll hear more about that. There's a backstory. Karen Kraft is going to do a 1-hour deep dive into the data and research that we've compiled from all the companies in the room. So a reminder that we had 1,300 example local employees take surveys. So we're going to take all that data. Karen's going to encapsulate that for you in a really digestible way, and then we're going to have a panel of recipients up here. So what I'm signaling again is if you're a recipient in the room, hang around. Session 1's especially for you. OBJ partners with the Ottawa Board of Trade on many events. Like the OBJ, the Ottawa Board of Trade cares deeply about our competitiveness of Ottawa and region, including business leaders, our community leaders, our entrepreneurs, and local employees. I want you to think about something as I introduce the President and CEO. The Board of Trade has safeguarded this city and advocated for the business community for almost 170 years. Not quite 170, you're almost there. You don't look a hair over 150, Suling. That would suggest the organization is old, and it does have a great history, but let me assure you, its thinking is modern and its vision is right on point. Please welcome the President and CEO of the Ottawa Board of Trade. Here's Suling Ching.
And thank you to everyone who is here today. I want to return the favor and acknowledge Michael and the work of the team at the Ottawa Business Journal as a critical partner to the work that we're doing at the Ottawa Board of Trade, and we're so happy to be working together to bring you all together to connect, to indulge in some thought leadership, and to really understand that everybody in this room has an important role and responsibility to play in the future success of your businesses, of our community and our economy, and particularly at this time of transformation in our city. What an exciting time of opportunity for each of us to be bold and to be ambitious and thoughtful about the changing landscape in our economy and our city, and how we can work together to really support the well-being and productivity of the people that are working in our businesses in our community. And I just want to say again, we're really pleased that you've invested this time. To Michael's point, time is a precious commodity, and we're honored to have you here. Look forward to hearing about your conversations and recognizing some leaders in the field of workplace excellence. So thank you again, and it's my pleasure to be here today.
Let me introduce our very special guest. He has a long and distinguished career as a passionate humanitarian, dedicated teacher, and internationally renowned researcher. He served as the president of the University of Guelph and the interim president of Carleton University, where I got to know him first. For his humanitarian work, he's been named the International Quality of Life Laureate for 2012 by Auburn University in the United States, an honor that he received at the United Nations in New York. If you're concluding that he might be bringing a little bit of an academic approach to this, you would be wrong. He has led international development agencies, become involved in the humanitarian issues in refugee camps in Kenya, and he is also an entrepreneur. He's helped with multimedia startup companies. These days, Alistair is pursuing an entrepreneurial venture called the Ottawa Education Group. They're with us here today, which he founded in 2023. OEG is an ed tech company that specializes in closing the skills gap in Canadian workforces through grant-eligible corporate training programs. They operate state-of-the-art learning hub at Lansdowne, one of the best offices, I think, in the city, and you get to watch football games as a bonus there. Without further ado, he's already joined me on stage. Please welcome Dr. Alistair Summerlee. I'm so happy to kick this off with you, Alistair. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry about the introduction, everybody. Far too long and it's not appropriate, really.
Well, I don't know. It was longer than that, and that's because you've had such a remarkable career, Alistair. So I'd urge everyone to check Alistair Summerlee out online, and you'll get the first picture because I didn't do you justice. But let's just situate ourselves a little bit here, Alistair. I think we're sitting in a room full of best places to work, evidently. But these companies are dealing, in my mind, with disruption like we've never seen before. Disruption that was accelerated by the pandemic through hybrid and remote work. But it's much more complicated than that. We entered into a period of, it seems like, never-ending economic uncertainty that was in the pandemic, and then we went into wage increases, inflationary increases, now a trade war, and then think of all the other issues in the workplace, whether it's trying to have more diverse and inclusive workplaces, the multi-generations. So here's finally the question in that long-winded roundup. You spent a lot of time in education. Why do you think education is relevant when we're thinking about this disruption in our workplaces? Why should everyone be focused on education, or I'll say training and upskilling, and then we'll get into some of what you do, Alistair.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you for the question. Thanks for the long introduction. I'm not sure how that plays into what I'm going to say, but the big challenge I think that we all face is how do we create a rethinking around education? For most of us, education means that you think about the experiences that you had as a student, wherever you were learning at the time, or whether you actually learned what you know these days from doing it at work. And everything is changing. Everything has changed. Everything will continue to change. And it's coming to terms with that I think is the most difficult. And then it opens the door to two significant problems, I think. First of all, finding the talent in the first place that fits with your business and has been appropriately trained, not educated in my view, trained to be ready to be an employee. And second is, how do you upskill the people that you've already got? Because getting the people into place, getting them enculturated into your own environment and familiar with what your company does is a very expensive exercise. How do you then take those people and keep them current when the pace of change is so fast?
I picked up on something you said there. You said not educated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sounds a bit odd that someone that's been a university president at Carleton and Guelph would have an issue with the word education. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely. I'm here actually as an example of possibly the world's biggest loser, because for 40 years I've tried to change the face of undergraduate education and failed. I really think that we need to retool our educational processes to focus on what the majority of individuals coming through a high school education are going to expect they need, which are job-ready skills. And we are not producing necessarily just the next generation of faculty, which is what I think a lot of institutions focus on. We should be producing people who have the skills and abilities, and 91% of employers say that is primarily soft or durable skills that are the most important. Technical ones come second, and we're not doing that job at all well. So I think education has got itself a bit of a bad name, and what we should be thinking about is training. What's the appropriate training for you to be in a place of work on day one and be a contributing member of that place of work? And I think there's lots that we can do in order to make that happen.
The title of the session is refers to a paradox.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a paradox that applies to Canada, but would also apply to Ottawa. Ottawa, when I think of Ottawa, I think Ottawa as a city of public post-secondary institutions, PSIs, universities, Carleton, Ottawa U, University of Ottawa, Algonquin, La Cité. And do you think there's a paradox there? So we think of ourselves as the best educated. In fact, we throw this stat out all the time in Ottawa. We say we have the best educated workforce in the country. And yet you would suggest, I think, Alistair, that the paradox is we have many people who are not employment ready. Tell me more about that.
Sure. I mean, it's not just in the Ottawa area, but it is exaggerated in the Ottawa area. Canada actually has been number one in the world in terms of the proportion of individuals who possess degrees, either from colleges or from universities, for a number of years, and yet our productivity remains really very low compared with other OECD countries. And it is, to me, a real challenge that we have this highly educated population, and as you're quite right, it's even more exaggerated here in the Ottawa region, and yet our productivity doesn't match other countries where there isn't the same kind of participation in the post-secondary education process. So I think we really need to be working seriously about what are the job-ready skills that we need to have, and how do you place the responsibility of effective participation in a company in a way that allows that company to grow and thrive. And I just don't think we do that. We spend a lot of our time saying to people in high school, you must go to post-secondary education in order to be able to get a job. And it astonishes me how many jobs are advertised saying you must have a degree. Why are they not saying you must have sophisticated communication skills? You must be able to interact with people. You must be able to give and receive feedback. I think we've got the needle slightly poorly adjusted at this point, and we could redress that.
And we're not here only to talk about problems, we're here to talk about solutions. So I'm going to get your take on the solution, but maybe we could do a little bit of crowd interaction here.
Sure.
By kind of show of hands. So who in the audience today has been part of some sort of training and or development program at work? I'm sure almost everyone would say that. Who is engaged in ongoing, maybe there's a question for, who's doing some ongoing in a very planned fashion, some ongoing, some training and development at work? Anyone? Okay, that's good. So some of the people seem to be embracing the idea that training should be an ongoing thing, Alistair. But let's start talking about some of the solutions. So I've used the word disruption, I'll use it again. In a sense, I think you've left the university world and you're looking to disrupt people's sense of training and education. So if you've spoken about the problem, what do you think is part of the solution?
I think part of the solution is trying to find a way to place the responsibility for continuous upgrading on all of us. We suffer, I think, from a problem of it's not my fault, and you can name it, it's the government, it's other industries, it's the universities, it's the colleges, passing the buck to blame others when actually motivating people to understand that they need to remain current, they need to think about what do I need to do in order that I'm going to be in a position where I can fulfill the growth that we're expecting in our business, and need to be coming forward to companies to say, here are the opportunities, this is why I need to be doing this is where I can do this, and I have researched where you can actually manage to do that. So we need to shift the metric that on average, Canadian companies are spending about $240 a year on upskilling their workforce, whereas leaders in the OECD are in fact spending about $750 per year on a person, so 3 times as much as we're doing here in Canada. That's not blaming people for not doing that. It's actually saying we all need to take responsibility for doing that, and that goes right down to the individual. And so one of the things we've been doing is actually in the Ottawa Education Group, going out to organizations and companies and saying, here's data on what is going to be changing in your industry. Here are the skill sets that you may not possess within your groups currently. We would like to work with you to think about how do we help upskill your workforce to be able to fill that gap so you can go on to the next level in terms of your economic success. At the same time, we've also been trying to think about how do we generate more effective learning in the universities. So you'll find at the back of the room, the International Business University is here, and they are coming into Ottawa actually and opening a campus here, really focused on the next generation of learning for business and for business education, that I hope people will want to go and talk to the folks that are here about that.
So we're into talking about some of the solutions, and we've got lots of great business leaders, HR professionals in the room. We'd love to make this interactive, so I'll ask you the next question, Alistair, but I'll scan the room as well for if someone wants to get a further explanation or challenge you on something. But let me come back to something I think that you're inferring, which is that a lot of Ottawa businesses, potentially Canadian businesses, think of education and training as a cost. So they're like, wow, I don't know if we can afford that, as opposed to saying, I don't think we can afford not to make this investment in our people, especially in the face of all this workforce disruption. Tell me about what you're observing in this new entrepreneurial venture.
So initially, what we were observing was people saying, why are you doing this? There are lots of opportunities to do this. We can go to the established universities and colleges and get courses from them and do the same. And I would say quite a bit of pushback from the community around why do we need somebody else in the group? Within the last month, that has completely shifted. It is now we actually have people out. We've been successful in doing this. We have examples in all kinds of businesses, everything from hair salons up to a commercial operation providing the kind of kitchen equipment that you have and training people on maintaining that. So anything along those lines and everything in between. And now we've suddenly arrived at the point where people are contacting us and saying, we hear you are doing this. We'd be interested in talking to you about how do we get hold of the data to be able to determine what we need to do to upskill our folks. Interestingly, a number of university faculty contacting us to say, I'm really frustrated about where we are at the moment, and I have some ideas and skills and connections about how you should be educating people. I can't get them taken up by the college or the university. Are you interested in us coming and joining you? So it's been a shift in paradigm.
It's interesting in the last few weeks. Any questions, Barry? Please don't be shy. We all know each other here. You can challenge Alistair. You can ask him a question. Oh, I see a question over on the side. Thank you. I think that's Suzanne Sear. If I get some bright lights in my eyes, but go ahead, Suzanne.
It's on?
Yeah, it should be on.
Alistair, thank you for sharing that experience. Michael mentioned earlier cost. Can you elaborate a little bit on say a company would love some corporate training, a construction company, for instance? What are we looking at cost?
And maybe I'll jump in and say that there are some programs, I think, that are available for many companies, whether they deal with Ottawa Education Group or not. I think one of the things that needs a little bit more attention is there are some public grant monies, if I've expressed that term correctly, to pay for companies because the government itself recognizes that there is a need to continue to upskill its employees. But sorry, go ahead and answer that question.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Suzanne. Yeah, I mean, there are a number of different options for actually funding the upskilling of your workforce that are available through government, through organizations that we've been involved with. And I would suggest if you are at all interested, you'll see there's an illuminated screen at the back of the room. It has a QR code on it, and it would give you access to the details around that. But you can get up to 100% of your retraining costs through organizations that are set up to do this. So it doesn't become a cost to your business other than the time that is necessary for people to engage. But we've also created programs that accommodate that too, so that people can work both face-to-face and online in their own pace to be able to do this.
What are some, and maybe I'll just scan the audience again, please, again, don't be shy. I got bright lights in my eye.
Mike, over here.
Oh, okay, sorry. Thanks. Please do speak up because it's very difficult to see the audience from up here.
Because you can't see me, I'll say hi. Kevin Judge from iNoble. One of the things that I've noticed, PricewaterhouseCoopers, for example, just put out a survey saying 11% of organizations don't know what skills they need for the future. They don't know what talent they need for the future. They're very stuck in day-to-day firefighting. So they're not looking further out. So what would you say the recommendation is for organizations to look further out?
Thank you very much for the question. This is not an uncommon observation from people. We're dealing with all kinds of problems. How on earth do we predict what's going to be coming up in terms of skills? It's a gap that we have thought about because it's really important to be able to get access to the data that says what is coming down the pike for your particular area, what's coming down the pike for this jurisdiction. So we have, part of our organization is actually generating the data that would support making those kind of decisions. And again, I would encourage you to go and have a look at the booths at the back in order to be able to engage with us. We love being given a challenge about, you know, what are the challenges that it might be your particular industry is facing.
All right, any other questions?
That I should also say that, I mean, fundamentally, a paradox for me is as we've become more and more online, one of the biggest issues that we're facing is that, and it's reflected in the stats, that 91% of businesses say that soft skills are the most important and the most missing talent that future employees and current employees have. And therefore, it's not a huge step to say, one of the things we need to do is to actually re-examine and focus on the development of soft or durable skills, depends on the terminology you use. And we have programs that we've successfully developed to be able to help with that.
You read my mind. That's exactly where I was going with soft skills. And when I'm thinking of the HR professionals in the room, they probably are very familiar with that term, and others, maybe the entrepreneurs, business owners, are aware of it. But I just want to explore that a little bit more, and maybe there's a bit of a premise in my question. We've just gone through many youth going through university and colleges in a 100% virtual way. They were in their bedrooms, locked in basements, Alistair, and I think, again, I'm making a generalization here, so forgive me, that a lot of young people are coming out of post-secondaries, and business owners, managers, entrepreneurs are finding that they don't have those soft skills, that they're not confident maybe speaking with a client. They're not confident speaking in a meeting or voicing their opinions. Can you help us understand, what is the root problem when it comes to soft skills? And quite frankly, what you're doing to, is it an etiquette course? When you're saying a soft skills, help me understand what you're doing to actually correct the soft skills gap.
I think it came home to me when I was working with somebody who said, I have a 17-year-old son who is dating for the first time on the web, and he has no skills to know what to do, how to behave, what to say, what to do, and he will never be able to recapture those years. That is exactly what has happened to this sort of lost generation that are now in universities and colleges. And universities and colleges are really feeling the difference with those people. So as they now graduate, you as employers will feel that difference too. And it is part of the idea that they are now more comfortable interacting with people online than they are doing this face-to-face. And that goes from every aspect. It is not just the presentation and the ability to talk to people and engage with people, but it's also to know how to work as a team. It's how to give and receive feedback, and how to be able to say things that are difficult and confrontational, but in a way that doesn't generate a complete shutdown on the other side. So what do we do? You're right, it's not an etiquette course.
Here's how you shake someone's hand. You
Yeah,
look them in the eye when you're greeting them.
Although those things are incredibly important too. Here's how to use a knife and fork when you're at the table. Here's how to be able to manage a situation where you're uncomfortable. So we actually create learning opportunities for people where we will put them in small groups into those kind of situations, and then get the group to tell them, how did you do with a confrontational situation? How did I perceive the way you were talking to me today? And be able to do that in a positive way that allows both individuals to, at the end of the day, feel that they've achieved something out of this. And there are some businesses that are doing this to some extent in terms of thinking about, we all have individual strengths and weaknesses, and why don't we start sharing those with each other? We often do that when we first employ somebody. We do personality assessments, etc. But they then get shelved in a drawer, and we don't actually spend time saying, hi, I'm Alistair. My skill set is that I can do this. The bit that I struggle with is this. And get to know how the people that you work with function so that you can take advantages of the skills that they have. It is very important for you to have the confidence in yourself and your ability, and we all learn, I think, to become somewhat insular and protected because we're afraid of our weaknesses. breaking that down and getting you to accept what are your strengths and weaknesses is really important to do.
Alistair, I'm going to pause, not end the discussion. I'm saying pause because you and your team are in the room with lots of other great partners, again, who are aligned in our mission to build best places to work. Big round of applause for Alistair Summerlee from Ottawa Education Group. Thank you for being part of today, Alistair. I really do appreciate you sharing all of your knowledge and experience with us. Again, big round of applause for Alistair. And dozens of markets in the US, Canada, and UK, from Arkansas to Vermont, from Chicago to Hawaii, from New York City to San Diego. They conduct research with companies and employees to help determine the benchmark for best places to work. In fact, he's flown in from Houston today to be with us. Just here from the Workforce Research Group, please welcome its president and founder, Peter Burke.
Wow, that I have to say that was that discussion was great because it sort of reinforces a lot of what I'm seeing in our research as well. But I'm thrilled here though to celebrate, and it's an absolute thrill to be back here with you again to celebrate the best places to work in Ottawa. Now we are here to recognize organizations that go above and beyond to create workplaces where people actually want to show up and want to go above and beyond for the benefit of the organization. And for those of you who are repeat winners, that's a huge commitment as well. Where are our repeat winners? Can we hear from you? Yes, on the list multiple times? No, clap, make noise, this is fun. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about how you earn this prestigious honor. As Michael said, our firm, Workforce Research Group, conducted our two-part process to determine who makes the list. Part one is the employer survey, worth 20% of the evaluation. Some companies are going all out, talking about unlimited PTO, golf outings, go-kart races, whitewater rafting. I saw that one company has a huge blowout on the last day of the month with happy hour with all sorts of great food, booze, snacks, candy. And then the following day, which is the first day of the month, they bounce back with nothing but healthy food, wellness initiatives, and long walks, which they might call regret day. Not sure what that's about, but I love the extremes. That's a lot of fun. Now, part two is the employee engagement survey, and that's worth 80%. 80% of this award is determined by what your employees think of you. So if you ever wondered whether your team loves you or just tolerates you, this is the ultimate litmus test. And let me say, based upon the engagement levels at your organizations, your employees really love you. It may surprise you to know that the average level of employee engagement in Canada has fallen to 21%. That's not a lot of love for the majority of employers in Canada. Now, the amazing news is that for this group of winners, that number is not 21%, it's 95%. That means on average, 95% of your employees really love their job and their employer, which is huge cause for celebration. 95%, that's pretty impressive. Let's hear it, come on. But here's the kicker. When your employees give you glowing reviews, it's not just about the perks. It's about being treated with dignity by the organization. It's about believing in the organization's leadership. And it's about the organization being committed to the employees' well-being. And by the way, those are the top three drivers of engagement in Ottawa. Knowing that your work matters and that you're part of something bigger is what makes this award truly special. That's hard to create and sustain. And if you don't believe me, ask the many organizations who registered and applied and went through the process and who are not here today. So, to all the winners today, let's celebrate. You've created workplaces where people don't just clock in, they thrive. And that's something worth bragging about. And please brag, shout it out, because this will have a huge impact on employee attraction, employee retention, and on your overall brand as an employer. So thank you for having me. I'm really thrilled to be here to help you celebrate. And let's get on with the countdown here. Here we go, Michael.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate you being here in Ottawa for this presentation. Please remain on stage to help us present our first 10 awards. Before we launch into this, few housekeeping notes. I should point that all 20 of the recipients are profiled in the Ottawa Business Journal, so grab a copy. We have lots, especially at the OBJ booth and back. Some quick stage instructions if you're heading this way. We will present the companies in a countdown format, so we're going from 20 all the way down to number 1. We'll share some highlights about each recipient. We'll call each company to the stage to receive their award and pose for a photograph. Our photographer will be center stage here. Please take his direction while you're up here. Without further ado, let's launch into it. Here are Ottawa's top 20 best places to work. At number 20, Mann Lawyers LLP. Big round of applause for Mann Lawyers. Mann Lawyers is a compassionate, collaborative firm where every team member is valued and supported through mentorship, career development, and flexible work arrangements. Its inclusive culture and commitment to wellness creates a meaningful workplace where people thrive and make a positive impact. Its co-managing partner is Andre Martin. Very nice gentleman I've talked to several times. They work, of course, in the legal sector. The year started 1994, 63 local employers. Give it up for Mann Lawyers. We'll make those photos unencumbered. Coming in at number 19 is SEO Plus. Yeah, let's hear it. SEO Plus offers a purpose-driven workplace where employees create meaningful impact through innovation, collaboration, and client success with strong professional growth opportunities, competitive benefits, and a commitment to community. The company fosters high engagement and long-term retention. Its CEO is Eddie Abouem. Of course, it works in the advertising sector. Founded in 2012 with 45 local employees. There's SEO Plus. Yes. Already at number 18, Alliance Engineering and Construction Limited. Alliance Engineering Construction is known for its vibrant team-oriented culture that emphasizes innovation, professional development, and employee well-being. With its flexible schedules, mentorship opportunities, social events, benefits such as RSPs, extra long summer weekends, employees feel supported, engaged, and motivated to grow. Peter Pasiorek is its president, working in the construction sector. Founded in 2010, 99 local employees. There you go, Alliance Engineering Construction. Thank you. All right, at number 17, another great local company, Sea Ridge Technologies. And bring up if you want, bring up many people from your team, by the way. Don't be shy. Bring the team up on stage and we'll have them all in our photograph here. Sea Ridge Technologies fosters a collaborative, purpose-driven culture where employees feel empowered, heard, and united in transforming aviation. With strong leadership, meaningful work, standout perks like daily lunch, birthdays off, I would take that, RSP matching. The company maintains a high level of engagement, low turnover, and a shared sense of pride. Technology sector, founded in 2026, 57 employees, Sea Ridge Technologies. Don't be shy to hang around on stage here too, by the way. All right, oh my goodness. It's just one great company after another. At number 16, March Networks. Very familiar company. Here they come with lots of team members. I love it. March Networks is an Ottawa-based global leader in intelligence, video surveillance, and business intelligence solutions with more than 25 years. It's hard to believe of experience. The company fosters a collaborative, innovation-driven culture that values flexibility, professional growth, and employee input. Its commitment to sustainability, diversity, and cutting-edge technology makes it a purpose-driven, people-focused workplace. Its CEO, one of our CEOs of the year from way back when, is Peter Strom. Company founded in 2000 with 141 employees. Give it up for March Networks. Great job, March. By the way, one of the things I'm just reflecting upon as I read this list out loud again is just the diversity of companies we have up here. We just went from March Networks to number 15 in the construction sector, Pomerleau Construction. Pomerleau fosters a purpose-driven culture grounded in authenticity, innovation, inclusion, where every employee has the opportunity to lead and grow with flexible work, strong learning and wellness programs, and impactful community projects. The company builds not just structures that last, but careers and a workplace where people thrive. Its CEO is Philip Adan, of course, working in the construction sector, founded in 1964 with 3,803 employees. Here's Pomerleau Construction. From construction, back to tech. Coming in at number 14 is Trellis. Here comes the team at Trellis. Bring them up, bring them up. The more the merrier. Trellis is an Ottawa-based software company helping Amazon and Walmart sellers through AI-powered optimization and merchandising tools. The company focuses on key pillars of price, product, placement, promotion. Trellis fosters a collaborative, fast-growing startup culture where employees enjoy flexibility, strong work-life balance, and continuous learning opportunities. The CEO, of course, is Fahim Sheikh, very well known in the local tech sector. Year founded, 2019, number of employees, 44 and growing. Here's Trellis. Man, this list reminds me of Ottawa's economy. So we went from construction to tech to nonprofit. At number 13, the Forest Products Association of Canada and the Canada Wood Council. The Forest Products Association of Canada and Canadian Wood Council foster collaborative, multi-generational culture where employees feel valued, empowered, and proud of their meaningful work. With strong employee net promoter score, flexible hybrid work, in-house coaching, and a focus on well-being, the organizations prioritize purpose, growth, and balance. Its president and CEO is Derek Niebor. Of course, they work in agriculture and forestry. Founded, believe it or not, in 1913. They've got the Board of Trade. They're neck and neck here, Suling. You're much older. With 53 local employees, the Forest Products Association of Canada and the Canadian Wood Council. Sticking with nonprofits, and a big important one for Ottawa at number 12, Invest Ottawa. A key economic group in our city. Invest Ottawa offers inclusive, flexible, impact-driven workplace. Love their location. We're embedded there, where employee growth alongside a diverse team of both long-standing and new staff. As the city's lead economic development agency, Invest Ottawa fosters meaningful work, strong community partnerships, and a culture grounded in trust, belonging, and equal opportunity. As you all know, the organization's led by Sonia Shorey, founded in 2012, and with currently 82. He's not taking you out of the picture, he's shifting you. We don't take people out of the phone. We said we're all about DEI here. That includes our photography. All right, with 82 employees, give it up for Invest Ottawa! You gotta hold them till the photo is taken. All right, number 11, a relationship between these two groups. Maybe I'll refer to it. Number 11 is Number Crunch. Number Crunch fosters a fun, flexible, and people-first culture where connection, curiosity, and collaboration thrive with unique team-building activities, meaningful benefits, and strong sense of belonging. It's a workforce where employees grow, feel valued, and enjoy coming to work. Its co-founder is Susan Richards, who is also the co-chair at Invest Ottawa. There's the connection. Of course, they work in the finance sector. I've had the pleasure of doing many podcasts with Susan Richard and got to know her team. It is a truly remarkable team. Made a big investment in their space just a few years ago. They were founded in 2005, excuse me, with 27 local employees. Here is Number Crunch at number 11. Peter, I think your job is done here on stage. Thank you very much. The airport is that way. You think I'm joking, but it's true. Where are you going? He's going somewhere. Where are you going? He's going to Nashville. All right. For our top 10, we're bringing up our second award presenter on stage. We have Michael Horn, a partner at Meldrum Horn & Associates. Give it up for Michael. Come on up on stage, Michael. Meldrum Horn is a longtime lead sponsor of Best Places to Work. Meldrum Horn is here to help you attract and retain the best talent through comprehensive employee benefits, group retirement programs, individual financing planning for your employees. They give you a competitive edge in their relentless fight for talent. Thank you, Michael. We know each other well from our tech group. All right, coming in, Michael, at the number 10 spot is a repeat winner, TPH Plumbing and Heating. Come on up here, TPH. Redefining work in the trades through a culture of innovation, integrity, and craftsmanship where every employee is empowered to grow and lead with cutting-edge tools such as 3D BIM and a strong focus on safety, collaboration, work-life balance. TPH brings not just systems, but lasting careers and futures. Its president is Patrick Taillefer. Of course, it's a construction company founded way back in 1986 with, get this, 130 local employees. Big round of applause for number 10, TPH Plumbing and Heating. I love this. I love that the trades and construction are represented here. Coming in at number 9, a very long-standing company in the construction sector in Ottawa, MP Lundy Construction, Inc. Woo! MP Lundy Construction is a culture-first company where professionals are supported, challenged, and valued through strong mentorship, generous benefits, and a long-term training and career opportunities. OEG will be happy to hear that. With a focus on employee well-being and a close-knit, high-performance team, Lundy fosters a workforce where people thrive and build lasting careers. Its president and co-owner, Sean Lundy, founded way back in our centennial year in 1967 with 38 employees. Here is number 9, MP Lundy Construction. Construction, tech, nonprofits, back to tech. Number 8, Intuitive. Where is the team from Intuitive? Intuitive is a purpose-driven B Corp certified firm that prioritizes innovation, collaboration, sustainability with a people-first culture supported by hybrid work, strong benefits, a focus on wellness, and DEI. As a worker-owned company, it empowers employees through mentorship, mobile opportunities, meaningful engagement, creating a workplace, led by Brock Stroder, founded in 2011, 338 local employees. There goes Intuitive. It's like we planned it. We're going back to the trades. At number 7, Dilfo Mechanical. Here they come. Dilfo Mechanical fosters a respectful, collaborative culture where employees are valued, supported, and engaged in meaningful work across major projects and a growing service division with strong safety standards, career development, commitment to work-life balance. Dilfo's values include trusted industry relationships, create a stable, rewarding workplace. It's led, Dilfo, by Danny Dillon, working in the construction sector, founded in 1980 with a whopping 286 local employees. At number 7, Dilfo Mechanical Limited. Professional service, back to professional services, so much like Ottawa. At number 6, HW Partners. HW Partners, formerly Henry Warren LLP, you probably know them by that name, very well known, fosters a collaborative, supportive culture where employees grow both personally and professionally with flexible hours, social events, community involvement, strong mentorship, and CPA development programs. The firm prioritizes balance, connection, and long-term career growth. It's led by Shania Watt, its accounting firm, of course. Year founded is 2002 with 68 local employees. There is the newly rebranded HW Partners. I swear to God we didn't plan this. We're going back to construction with number 5, Ottawa General Contractors. I would say merging tech and contractors, but that's my take. With its family-like culture, OGC fosters a fun, respectful, engaging environment, offering flexible schedules, competitive pay, and perks such as free Friday lunches. It supports the team's growth with customized workflows, performance-based rewards, leading to a truly connected and rewarding workplace. Led by Faraz Elsbad, a recent 40 under 40, founded in 2007 with 29 local employees. There goes Ottawa General Constructors. Contractors. So many construction companies here. And again, listen, this is just like Ottawa. At number 4, Relax Massage Group. Because when we work this hard, what do we all need? A great massage. Relax Massage Group is a therapist-first clinic that prioritizes well-being and the growth of its team to deliver exceptional client care. With more than 20 years in the industry, it fosters inclusive, supportive, fun culture, making it one of Ottawa's leading employers for RMTs. Founded by Melissa Gardner, of course, working in the healthcare sector. Years founded in 2004. With 30 local employees. They got a really good story, really brought an HR focus to the company that drove their business growth. At number 4, we have the Relax Massage Group. We're up to the top 3. And at number 3 is Snowed In Studios. Yes! Snowed In Studios has been a leader in Ottawa's video game industry for 15 years, known for its people-first culture and strict no-crunch policy. That's cool. With a focus on transparency, career growth, and work-life balance, the studio offers supportive, fun, professional, and personally relationships. Founded by Nigel Franks, studio head is Nigel Franks, founded in 2010 with 117 local employees. There is Snowed In Studios. We need a drum roll here. All right, in at number 2, we've got Stoneworks Technology, Inc. Stonework fosters a welcoming, inclusive culture rooted in pay-it-forward philosophy, offering strong benefits and ongoing community support with a focus on personal growth, team success, and putting family first. Employees thrive in a workplace that values learning, celebration, and meaningful impact. Here it comes. There's Jody Burton, led by CEO Jody Burton, working in the technology sector, founded in 2020 with 25 local employees. Our number 2 ranked company, Stonework Technologies, Inc. Congrats. Thanks, Jody. Okay, we really do need, everyone go like this on their table for a second. Coming in as the number 1 ranked best places to work in Ottawa is NAC. Woo! NAC fosters a culture of creativity, collaboration, and balance supported by a flexible hybrid model, strong employee engagement with standout perks like wellness programs, milestone rewards, and employee ownership. NAC builds value-driven workplace where individuals feel heard, valued, and set up for shared success. It's led by well-known local CEO, Pierce Eugene Walla. You think I'd know that by now, Pierce? Had to say it so many times. Working in the technology sector, Founded in 2015, one of the city's really big technology success stories with 98 employees. The #1 best places to work in Ottawa is NAC.
How, if you were to look back on your experience, what was the most significant lesson that you learned, and how has it shaped your approach moving forward?
Would this be at NAC?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I joined NAC in February of 2024. For context, the year before, the company went through a large transition. They had attracted the wrong talent during the years prior, and we're going through the realization that they hadn't really clearly defined their values, and they weren't making decisions based off of those either. So we ended up doing, when I joined, our mandate was that we wanted to be the best place to work in Ottawa. We actually hadn't made the list the year before, and our EMPS had dipped. So I partnered with our CEO. We looked in the mirror and we acknowledged to the team as well our shortcomings. We redefined our values, made them very clear, and since then, all of our programs have been based off of employee feedback. But to answer your question in terms of what the learning was, like listen to your people. Also, when things are going really well, it's really easy to be transparent. When they're not, that's when it's hard. And I would say that's the biggest lesson for us.
Can you share with us your most incredible lessons learned?
Well, I'm very happy to do that with this illustrious group. I took my inspiration in terms of a lesson learned from what we experience in construction. And one of the rules that we found is that when a construction project can hit momentum, like this concept of momentum is massive for us. When a construction project has momentum, it's like a locomotive going down a track, and it just has its own forward force that sort of carries us all along with it. And when that's achieved, it's very inspirational to see. And so drawing from that and taking it into this idea of how are we creating a positive and healthy culture, how are we driving this elusive thing we call engagement, it's really about understanding momentum and understanding that progress.
Talking from like the last 2 years of the company's existence, it's culture that we really focused on, and making leadership decisions that inform, to keep and protect the culture. We have a very healthy, positive culture in the company. I don't take it for granted for a second. We recently moved, so February of last year, we moved offices. We were at the end of our lease, but we made an intentional decision around the type of space that we wanted to move to that would help protect the strength of the culture that we had. So we made some leadership decisions around that, and then the communication sort of threads through everything, trying to focus on a positive lens of communication, one where, in our business, we've also, over the 11 years, what's more important, your clients, your employees, your clients, your employees.